keep going. You know, I'm really liking this conversation. Shh, excuse me. Hello? Please, over there. Excuse me.
Well,
Go
I'm
tell
going to
us.
keep going anyway.
Yeah.
I want to explain what Isabella said because in the book, like in the lottery and in the film that we watched, the children were like gathering up piles of rocks and getting excited, like saying like you have to put all the rocks in, and they're like getting excited. But what would happen if they were the ones who got picked? I don't think they would be happy. Anyway.
Well, let me ask you this question. Excuse me. Now, for example, Tessie is like anybody else in the village. She's happy if it's somebody else, but when it comes time for it to be her turn, she's. We'll talk about it. Somebody want to talk about that? What is the level of hypocrisy? Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, whenever someone gets the dot, is it automatic that they have to do a lottery between their family, or was it just because she said that it wasn't fair and they did that?
Who can answer that question?
It was just random picking, as you said, it was
like a lottery.
Yeah. It wasn't that she specifically said anything, it's just that congratulations, she won the lottery.
Does that answer your question? Go ahead, Lee.
I mean, kind of, but really, literally her question was because you know how she was like, oh, that's not fair, and then they did another lottery in the family itself.
That was part of the tradition to do
Yeah,
it.
that's my question. Was that the tradition, or did they only do it in the family because she said it wasn't fair?
Anybody?
I mean, that wasn't really cleared up. They didn't really.
No, they made it very clear. It's crystal clear. He says, Mr. What's his name? Mr. Summers says, first we write down the heads of household. Then, once the heads of household are selected, then we go to the family. So you ask how many members are in your family. So say it's a family of 6. And he says, okay, we're going to put 5 blanks and give me the one with the dot, and we'll put them all in. In Tessie's case, yes, go ahead.
Is there a rule against killing the kids?
No.
That's common.
Remember how she said, I really hope it's not,
What did she say? I really hope it's not who?
I don't know the name of the little girl.
No, it was, I really hope it is.
No. What did the teen girl say? I really hope
it's not.
What's her name? Lenore?
No. Linda. It starts with an M.
I really hope it's not.
I know there's not a big killing kids because most of them I just had something.
I would say that the author keeps it a bit cryptic.
Oh, I got
so
it.
that it's an open.
Wait, Dr. Bellis. I know that they couldn't have had a rule against the kids because they said, what was the old guy's name?
I'm gonna buzz you
The
off.
old guy, yeah, he said, I've been in this lottery for over 75 years now, and he was around that age, so he's been in it ever since he was.
What was his name?
Old man Higgins.
Old Man Higgins?
Where?
What was the man's name?
Warner. Was it Warner?
Old Man Warner. No, he says 77 years I've been in the lottery. But again, I don't think that infants, I mean, they leave it a little bit cryptic. Maybe he was 6 years old when he started. Go ahead, Lee.
I was just going to say that what Kate said about being excited about death in 1984.
Uh-huh.
It kind of reminds me of this book I'm actually still reading called Scythe, where it's these people that go around, it's like a futuristic dystopia,
Uh-huh.
and everyone's kind of bewildered at the idea of death and then terrified once it comes their time to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that kind of connects to what Kate said, because it's you're enthusiastic about it until it's you.
I like that. Can we also, you're enthusiastic about it until it's you. I think that's true about me. I mean, that's a very, you're, what is it? You're happy about it? You're enthusiastic about it until it's you, yeah. Let's talk about that just for a moment. For example, the lottery and 1984 are both written in 1948, or they're both coming out in the same time, 1948, 1949. What do you think about please, kids over there, quiet. What do you think about the inheritance between these two books and the current level of dystopia that we're seeing in writing and films? Yes?
Well, do you think it has anything to do with like the World War II? How there was like a lot of chaos in the Cold War. Do you think it has anything to do with like World War II and how there was like chaos in society as it was? So these writers are trying to like kind of make their own takes of the chaos. Kind of.
What do you guys think? I think that's a very interesting observation.
Maybe they were thinking of like the outcomes in the future, maybe?
Well, I think in the film that we watched, it said that George Orwell, I see your hand, George Orwell was saying, he was commenting on the totalitarian governments of Nazi Germany and Soviet Russia, and he was saying, what if this happened in liberal democracies like England? And then, of course, Shirley Jackson is saying, what if this happens in Middle America? So those are good, but what were you going to say, sir? Okay. But what about, the question I'm really asking is, what about the current level of fiction? Do any of you see how it is a child, somewhat, of these two works of 1984 and The Lottery? That the current kind of normalization of dystopian novels, that we see them all the time, as opposed to, say, Huckleberry Finn or realistic fiction. Anybody?
I know I'm talking a lot, I'm sorry.
No, but please do.
I've noticed that since like the Hunger Games came out, there's a lot of like 10 districts and battle to the death.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I think that could kind of reflect somehow on our society. I'm not entirely sure how.
Well, what does the relationship say between Hunger Games and The Lottery?
Just I think the idea of like a normalized and celebrated death, but celebrated in a very strange way, where
Yeah, go.
As well as like the gambling of luck, like you could die, but nobody knows until it's the moment of revealing.
Mm-hmm. And kind of a lottery, yes. And well, let's get to Jacob too.
And also they make it like into like a game, and the people watching it. Well, I mean, obviously not the people like with their families in it, but like the people in the Capitol like enjoyed watching it. So,
Mhm.
so that they were supposed to normalize.
And where does that come from? Does that come from The Lottery or from
like the lottery
and 1984? The people are, there's this, so
Watching.
Big Brother is watching. What about Jacob wanted to say something. Pass the microphone. Is one of you two working with this thing here, or are you just playing on your things?
Very fine.
The thing with the lottery is that in the beginning of the Hunger Games, they have this thing where you choose and you see if you were chosen to be into the Hunger Games.
Uh-huh.
So you could either be not chosen or chosen. It's just like the game of luck in the beginning.
A game of luck.
It's like the lottery.
Yeah.
It's like The Lottery?
You don't choose, you get chosen.
You don't choose, you get chosen. Okay, yes, pass it down.
Into the wise.
Working off what Jacob said, it's kind of like that, like, it's like the first level of the picking, like, when they do the heads of the household, they grab the, sections, and they pick the people that go into the Hunger Games. And then once they have the groups of it, and then they start fighting, that's like picking the individuals from the household, like in the lottery. Like how Tessie died, like she was she, for example, be the, other person, I didn't watch the Hunger Games, but I know basics of it. What's the main character?
Katniss.
Katniss, yeah, that her, like, she could have been like Tessie. She was taken out of the majority group and went to the smaller, and then she was
Actually, she was picked.
Didn't she self-select?
She volunteered.
She volunteered.
Again, I don't know the Hunger Games, so I don't know how that went.
Well, is it possible in the lottery somebody can say, I'll go instead of my mom, I'll
Wait, no, the
go?
funny thing about
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
there is.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
remember
yeah.
with the guy who like broke his arm or something, the son's old substitution.
Quiet, please. Well, we have 3 minutes, so what's wrong with that?
I just wanted to
Sometimes
say
you
that
get the
Big
best things.
Brother could like reflect social media and have it like always there and you never really goes away.
This is a really great perception, that the pervasiveness of media is also a synonym for surveillance. Is that what you're saying?
I feel like Katniss, Katniss Everdeen, like she was like brave enough to like go in instead of her sister. She like volunteered as tribute for her sister, but I feel like Tessie, if like one of her kids or her husband chose to die, she wouldn't do anything.
No, she would have sat there and she would have
Actually,
I also really liked Annabelle Lee and Knock Knock. Those were two really good.
Oh, let's go on. So you liked Annabelle Lee and Knock
Yes.
Knock?
I loved Annabelle Lee because Annabelle Lee was just really sweet at how in love they were and stuff. And then Knock Knock was sweet because it was like the father's love and teaching him how to be a man even though he wasn't there for him.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
Oh, good.
I like how he, in Knock Knock, how he built himself up again by saying, like, I wish my father would have come back and said to me, but life goes on, I have to move on without him. Like, he got stronger without his dad being there. I really like that.
Well, we call that self-efficacy. He leaned on his own inner resources to become self-actualized or, engaged in society. Yes, Dylan.
Didn't someone like volunteer instead of like his mother going? And it's like, I remember that in the video you showed us.
Uh-huh.
There was someone like, so are you going instead of your mom this year?
Oh, yeah, that one, right.
Yeah.
Oh, in the middle of the lottery, they go, but what do you think, why do you think that happened?
Because he didn't want his mom to die.
Because his father had been selected the year before.
Yeah, that.
It might have been because his father, she says, when they say, go ahead and be a man, please quiet over there.
Let him talk.
They say, they imply, and again, I think a good work of literature has you wondering, well, did that happen? They're not saying for sure. They keep those like 30 different questions going on in your mind, and then when the end comes,
Did the men in the house pick the things?
the men are the ones picking. Yes, yeah, we could have a new lottery. The women, where Mrs. Summers gets rid of Mr. Summers and she takes over. Okay, guys, this class is on. I'm really proud of how we pulled this off in really very quickly. We might do it again tomorrow. I'm really pleased with everybody. Very nice. Good work. Is everybody won? Are we off? Daniel? Yes, cut.
Go do the banner. Like and subscribe.
Yes.
Like and subscribe.
Oh,